Hey everybody, back here with something new. Bear with me, have a little bit of a mess in here. Not much space. But anyway, I had this canard with vector thrust. As you can see from looking at this, if you compare it to the last video, the rear area here, this rear area is actually the rear wing of the canard, and this box area here was empty, and then there was a front canard in this area, and I basically just took the rear wing and added a triangular area to make a delta. What I wanted to achieve here was a delta with vectored thrust, and the point was that the climb and basically a minimum required power when you have the vector thrust was going to be achieved with this adjustable thrust angle, and the slot here is cut in such a way that even at the vectored angle of the thrust, the propeller does not hit the edges of the slot. Of course, the top blade in this area on top of the wing will have the air being pushed basically back over the wing, so that that part doesn't really give the thrust in the upward direction. This is a pusher prop, and it's only the bottom part that's going to give you the upward thrust. And the nice part about this, I mean, deltas are pretty common, but the nice part about everything I've done here is that I basically reused everything, the mount for the engine, the adjustable thrust motor mount, and the structural framework, these wooden pieces here, and the rear wing from the canard vector thrust airplane. And the only thing I changed was adding this triangular area. It turned out that the center of gravity needed to be along this line over here, and I marked it in the center over there. But the most forward mounting of the battery was such that it could fly without these extra two weights here for these two AA batteries. But it was really kind of tail heavy and it was difficult. So adding these two little batteries here still brings it into under 34 ounces, which is fine, because this engine, this motor prop combination can put out about 40 ounces of thrust. What's really cool about, I mean, with the deltas in general, you can do pretty high alpha. You have to sometimes give quite a bit of power in order to maintain that high alpha. But with this, because you can vector the thrust in such a way that you have an upper component of thrust, you can cruise around in high alpha with lower power setting. You have to be careful. If you go a little too far on the angle, then you get on the back side of the power curve, so to speak. And of course, these vertical stabilizers are what you would typically find for yaw stability, and I just made them out of thin Dollar Tree foam board covered in packing tape. The elevons are the same old elevons, the same rear wing of the canard vector thrust airplane. I think this plane could use, actually, because it's got such a low aspect ratio, it could use even larger elevons, but wasn't, the whole point was to do reuse here, to reuse a lot of what I already had. It's a lot of fun to fly this airplane, because, I mean, when I'm landing it and I've got, the vector thrust, I don't have quite as much as you see here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this much, something like that. And when I'm landing it and I have the vector thrust giving me an upward component, of thrust, I can basically, you know, just be landing at a walking speed and just cut the power and pancake in inches above the ground, and the thing, you know, just settles onto the ground. It's really nice how slow you can make this thing fly. Despite the fact that it is quite heavy. We're talking about 34 ounces around approximately. So that vector thrust really does make a difference in high angle of attack maneuvers. And also, even if you're just cruising around in kind of just level flight, because you can vector the thrust, you need less throttle. And actually, if you look at this here, you can see that if you have the thrust angles such that it's passing essentially straight through the CG, or perhaps slightly below the CG, then you're going to get the best situation for kind of just cruising around level flight for this particular airplane. But that's what works out best because of the fact that this thrust is slightly above the vertical CG. So yeah, that's it. Nothing incredibly unexpected here, but kind of just wanted to see, you know, if I could get the same behavior for this guy as I got for the vector thrust canard, and it is more or less the same behavior. Okay, I hope this was interesting for some of you.